Hey guys, Ryan Sprague here from Somewhere in the Ring podcast with your weekend main event recap and review. It has been a hell of a weekend so far for wrestling, with three major shows taking place yesterday, with NXT's Great American Bash starting things off with a women's main event that brought together the team of Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe, or better known as Mariah May, from her AEW days, as they took on JC Jane and Fallon Henley with Jasmine Nix at their side to make up Fatal Influence. It was a hard fought match until Nix tried to interfere, only to be stopped by Masha Slamovich to give Monroe the pin against Jane, leaving us with the victorious Monroe and Jordynne Grace. Moving over to AEW 6-hour pay-per-view event. Yes, you heard that right. 6 hours long. This was AEW's All in Texas. We had yet another chaotic main event from AEW, which we'll get to shortly. But I do want to point out a couple of other epic moments that saw Toni Storm beating Mercedes Moné in a highly entertaining and fantastic match, showing yet again that these women truly have it all, especially Toni Storm. We saw an emotional Adam Cole announce that he may be done wrestling forever due to an injury, and that he had to give up his TNT championship. This was put together as an impromptu fatal four-way match between Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara, seeing Dustin Rhodes come out on top as the new TNT champion, sending our very best to Adam Cole, and we hope this isn't the last we see of him. We also had a three-way tag team with the Patriarchy, Jet Speed, and the Hurt Syndicate, which saw Christian Cage get massacred at the end, only to be saved by a returning Cope. He would come to the aid of his former best friend and tag team partner, only to tell him to go find himself. Are we finally going to get the reunion of Christian Cage and Edge? I mean, Cope. Sorry. We'll see. And the main event of All in Texas saw a bloody and violent Texas death match between Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley. The Death Riders did everything to assure Page wouldn't win, only for the likes of Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland to show up and help out Page. And then, from climbing Mount Everest to descending from the top of the stadium, Darby Allin returned to help out as well. The Young Bucks came to the aid of Mox, only for Bryan Danielson to come out and make sure that this would not end with the Death Riders winning yet again, Mox winning. Hangman would finally chain Mox to the top rope and made him tap out. Finally removing the AEW World title from the briefcase for the first time since Mox locked it up. And Hangman presented it to a very happy crowd in attendance and at home. And Hangman Adam Page is your new AEW World Champion. Moving to WWE Saturday night's main event, we saw Randy Orton take on Drew McIntyre with Logan Paul at his side, and on Randy's side, Jelly Roll. Okay. Logan and Jelly Roll would scuffle on the outside while McIntyre and Orton fought, with Orton eventually winning the match. But he and Jelly Roll couldn't celebrate long, as McIntyre gave Jelly Roll a very hard claymore to the head, prompting a match at SummerSlam that will see Logan Paul and McIntyre take on Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Randy Roll, is that what we're calling them? I don't know. Whatever. We also saw a scary and unplanned moment with Seth Rollins getting legitimately injured during his match with LA Knight. Knight would go on to win an abruptly ended match, and boy, we can only hope for a speedy recovery for Rollins and the many stories he currently is a part of. Sending our best, Seth. Sending our best. And last but certainly not least, our main event was Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Championship. I will say this. Goldberg lasted longer than I thought he would. I mean, this thing went almost 12 minutes. He went almost 12 minutes with the ring general. Everyone thought this was going to be a squash, maybe 2 minutes long. But by the end, Gunther, he was able to get Goldberg in the sleeper, and Goldberg passed out. Goldberg passed out, and Gunther retained. All in all, it was actually a way better match than I think anyone truly expected. And it was a great way to put Gunther over while also having Goldberg's last match in his hometown with his family and friends. Unfortunately, his farewell speech was cut a little short by television time constraints. So we missed a lot of that. But if you care at all about the Goldberg final farewell speech, I know Andrew does not. You can watch it right now on WWE's social media. So there you go, guys. It was a Saturday of wrestling across the board. Fantastic stuff. But we are not done. Tonight is the all women's PLE event, Evolution. So be sure to tune in for that. And I know it's going to be epic. And we will see you next week on Somewhere in the Ring to break down all of this weekend's wrestling cornucopia of greatness. We'll see you next week.